The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to the Fine to Fab Show with Lisa Lieberman-Wang, helping women reclaim their inner peace and power, going from feeling fine to being fab, fabulous, awesome, beautiful, serving to empower you to break through the barriers that weigh you down, to live an authentic life that is healthy, happy, and free. Now, here's Lisa.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Lisa Lieberman-Wang, your trusted guide on your journey from feeling fine to being fab. The Fine to Fab show is committing to helping women break through the barriers that weigh them down to live an authentic life that is healthy, happy, and free. Join the movement and be part of an active community. Just text the keyword FINE to FAB, that's FINETOFAB, to 90210. I'm doing 90210. I'm thinking of the show. And hit send. Follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at Lisa Lieberman-Wang, and check out our website at finetofab.com. Be sure to sign up for the free tips there to live a healthier, happier life now. Remember, this is a live call, and you can chat with us with our guests, which I'll be introducing in a moment, at 561-422-4365. You can call in or you can Skype in at W4WN Radio. That's Women for Women N Radio. So looking forward to hearing from you and giving you some more information. I'm going to be sharing with you some fabulous information with my guests, and I want to start by saying that one of the topics and where we're going to be going today is about how to start building relationships for your business, but it also starts building the relationship with yourself, and realizing that sometimes we see people with extraordinary success, and we never realize that they had to go through things as well, and we sit in a whole different place and not necessarily appreciate where we are or what the possibilities are. So I know I've had that experience. People seeing me now would never have known the trials and tribulations I've had to go through, and I know that's the same for my guest. And I'd like to just introduce her and tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Tara McHugh. She is a relationship marketing and mindset mentor that works with entrepreneurs that are experts at what they do, but are frustrated because they aren't making the money they want to make. I'm sure we all know people like that, right? If not ourselves. Tara teaches the business success formula, helping her clients to deal with unique challenges they face building a business and managing their often hectic and busy life. She's an expert at showing her clients how to build strategic partnerships to easily attract raving fans and loyal clients. In 2006, Tara's passion guided her to start the Association of Women Entrepreneurs. This allows her the opportunity to connect with hundreds of thousands of women across the United States and beyond to the resources and support they need to build a successful business in life. Tara is gifted at creating and leading a supportive community and makes people feel inspired to achieve their dreams. Her clients say she is passionate, determined, and authentic. And I'll let you know, I had the pleasure of getting to know Tara, and she's such an asset and a reason for why this show is even happening, because she made my transition even easier. I want to welcome everybody, Tara McHugh.
Aw, thank you, Lisa. Thank you for inviting me to be here and such nice, kind words. I really appreciate that.
Oh, I'm sure they're not even as nice as they can be, because there's those accolades that we can keep going down for what you've achieved in really such a short time. And I'm so impressed, and I want the listeners to also hear some of the secrets that you've been able to develop, and I know you'll be able to help them too. So it's pretty exciting. Thank you for being here. So, Tara, like I said, a lot of times people see success, and they just think that you woke up one day and you achieved it. Isn't that the truth, right?
Yes, overnight success, right?
Overnight, and sometimes overnight might have taken 10 years or 20 or maybe 5, but it's overnight. So why don't you give our listeners a bit of your background so they can fully understand where you're coming from And, you know, what really happened before the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, how that came about?
Sure. I actually started because I moved from Chicago to Southern California back in 2003. And I moved with my husband and our two young boys. At the time, they were 7 and 4. And I'm one of these people that really loves change. I'm, and as we, know with our, our understanding of the human needs, I definitely like a lot of uncertainty, but I also have to have some certainty. Like I have a limit, right?
Right.
And yeah, we all do, right? And so while I was excited about the change of moving across country, I didn't know anyone here in Southern California. It ended up being a little bit too much change for me. And I was literally inches from a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
And I had my husband, and I, moving across country, I'm sure people listening can relate to this. Any kind of change you've been through, whether it's, going away to college or having a baby or any kind of change, there's a point where it's exciting, it's amazing, but there's also some stress and some anxiety that comes along with it. And my husband finally sat me down one day and he said, all right, you need to either get on some medication or figure out what's wrong with you. Maybe you want to move back home. Not maybe we want to move back home, maybe you. And that was really a wake-up call for me. That was the defining moment where I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. Something's wrong. And, and I guess I was in having my own little pity party and having my own little, I was obviously getting something from that, whatever that was, right? And it took that to make me realize, wait a minute, this is no longer working for me anymore, and I need to change.
Now, I'm going to ask you, because when you were in that pity party, were you actually working or doing anything? Because I found that people who don't have a direction, a mission, a purpose, tend to wallow in their sorrows.
That's exactly, yes. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, so I found that, I've been there too. I moved from New York to New Jersey and not across the country, but it seemed like it. I didn't have cell reception. I was on a mountain that didn't know what it was like to use cell phones, and people who didn't get dressed when they went to the market. I wanted to know. I started saying to my husband, "Where'd you bring me? Where am I? I want to go back." I felt like, like click my heels and I'll go back home, and it didn't work. So I totally relate to that. But sometimes when we get into that place, it's because we really have nothing to move towards. And like you said, you were lonely is one of the words you used. So where were you at that point? Did you start your business? Did you have something happening?
That is exactly what the issue was. I realized, I kind of sat down and thought, well, okay, what's going on here? And what I came to was I didn't have anything going on. I was focusing on my boys and my husband, and I had left my life in California or in Chicago and didn't rebuild it when I moved. I left everything that was familiar. And so while I was just focusing on my boys and my husband, the husband part wasn't going that great because it was stressful. So my whole world was turned upside down. So I sat down and I thought, all right, well, what are the different areas of my life? Okay, I don't have a life. Well, what do I want? Which was completely overwhelming to me. And so I thought, all right, let me break it down. What are the different areas of my life? And I came up with 8 different areas. And I thought, well, okay, what do I want in each of these areas? So I kind of made it a little bit more manageable. And so I started small. I literally thought, I, growing up, loved gymnastics. I'm going to go start teaching gymnastics to little kids. Because I had a son, and I thought my son was, my son was 4, I think, at the time. And I thought, I'm going to go, he can join the class, and I'll just help teach, which gave me something to focus on, gave me a purpose, right?
Right.
And that lasted for a little while, and then I thought, okay, let me move on. And it transitioned to different things, and which led me, honestly, after about 6 months, people that knew me said, okay, what's going on? Not that long ago, you were a complete mess. What did you do? How did you do it? Teach us. And I thought, all right, well, what did I do? And I kind of mapped it all out. Oh, okay, 8 areas of my life, visions, goals, removed what wasn't working, connected with the right people, and all this. And I literally put together a program and started teaching people. And because I had small boys, I had to work around their schedule. And so in comes the internet, and I started getting clients through really connecting with people on chat rooms and Yahoo groups and things like that. And I had clients across the United States. I mean, that's how it started.
And that's a fabulous thing people don't even realize today, because so many people are trying to build a business, and the biggest challenges are getting out, getting to meet people, and with the internet, it's literally just brought us closer. So there's no longer that excuse, but there's one thing you said, it's selecting the right people to surround yourself with. And I think that's a big piece that some people miss, because I know that for me, and I know it's one of your favorite quotes because we've talked about it, is, our income is commensurate to the 5 people that we are closest to and spend the most time with, like Jim Rohn would say. And a lot of times when I know I've gotten into the Petite Club, I've been joined by other women that wanted to be there.
Right.
So connecting with the right people also becomes in any direction, in any part of our life.
Yes, misery loves company, right?
Absolutely, and misery loves misery. So I look not to have any of the above. So
yes, well, and that's what actually led me to creating the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, because I thought, all right, here I am. I'm doing my business online. I'm working in my home office, and I'm lonely. I'm a people person, and I thought, well, I love what I'm doing online, but I'd love to do it in person. I'd love to have in-person workshops, which is kind of maybe a little backwards because at that time, 2004, 2005, most people were, people were thinking, okay, I'm going to take my local business and move that and start marketing it online, trying to figure that whole thing out. Where I'd already gotten clients online. I was kind of doing all that, and I wanted to kind of do the opposite. I wanted to do the in-person thing. And I didn't really know how to do that in my local community. I didn't have any connections in the local business community. So I thought, well, online, if I want to learn anything, I join a like-minded community on Yahoo groups or a chat room of some sort, or maybe a coach is hosting something. And this is way before Facebook and Twitter and all that. You
were totally ahead of your time, because today there's so much competition out there. At that time, there were only the leaders in the forefront right there that were out there even doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I thought, okay, if I want to learn anything, I connect to like-minded people, or I learn from an expert, maybe a coach or consultant or something. And I thought, well, let me look for that in my local community. And I didn't find that in my local community. But I love my community. It's pretty small, 250,000 people, and at the time it was Yahoo. Chamber and networking groups. And I thought, no, not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more business development, more community. So being the type A personality that I am, I thought, well, I can't find it, so I'm going to just create it. I'm going to build it. And I honestly thought it would be me and maybe 20 other women, and we would just come together regularly, learn from a speaker, collaborate with each other. And we started with 12, and before the end of the first year, we had over 140 members.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, and it was a huge learning curve. I had no systems in place. I didn't expect that to be my focus, my business. It became this thing I was doing, and it just got better and better as I focused on it and grew it. And I found a need, and I was now helping people. So I decided to focus there.
And the funny thing is that you said a couple of things that I want to go back to. Is that one is you found that where you needed the help, and you went to that direction. So the need ended up being something that you were looking for. And it's similar to even where I am with Find to Fab. I had no intention in any lifetime to ever be doing what I'm doing now. But without a doubt, I mean, the best part is that my background has been corporate America and also in the direct marketing industry and internet, and I've made millions doing that. But most people, as you think, I was born with a silver spoon and life was good, and then me sharing the trials and tribulations I've had to go through. I go and share that with my mom that I'm going to go help women, and my mother's like, "Oh, finally you're coming out of the closet." So it's like I didn't know I was in the closet, and I know she's listening, so she's going to love that. But the truth is that from our own needs sometimes is where we find not only ourselves needing that, but others. And like you said, you thought there'd be 20 to have over 100, now tens of thousands is humongous. Right. To grow where you've gone. Now, but that I'm sure it wasn't an easy path. I mean, now you went from feeling depressed and down and your husband threatening going on meds or leaving, leaving.
Yes.
How did, besides just a purpose, I mean, you had to hit a threshold, because I know that with anyone making it to the point where you had enough, I want to make change. Was that the threshold, or what was it?
Yeah, I mean, my marriage and my family is the most important thing to me. And to have my husband, who I respect so much, to sit me down and say, you need to change. You need to shift something. Something's not right. That really made me listen. That really made me stop and think, okay, what's going on here? And it's, finding someone like that in your life who just brings out the best in you, and will, I just trusted that, okay, he's clearly, I need to take inventory here and make something and change. And honestly, it was the best thing that ever happened. It made me, it really turned me around and made me stop being so self-focused and poor me and I feel like everything that, while I am my own ideal client, like you were saying, and I do create, everything I create with the Association of Women Entrepreneurs starts with me, because I think, well, what would I want? If I were doing this, and even what we're creating today, it's all come from, hey, well, what would I want? But the purpose of doing it is to serve other people and help connect other people and help other people grow their business. And I think that is really what turned things around. It was like to stop focusing on myself and how can I help other people, use what I have to help other people.
Yes, and I always say everybody wears a sign, WIIFM, what's in it for me? And if we take the focus off ourselves and make them feel important, share what's in it for them, and serve others, we inadvertently serve ourselves. And Zig Ziglar even said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you inadvertently will get what you want. So it's always about taking the focus off of us. And honestly, when you do that, it's hard to have a poor me attitude if it's not focused on me, right?
It's true, yes.
So when you look at the things that you've learned from the experience and how it shaped your life today, what are give me the top 3 things that you would say that you walked away with?
Well, I think the top 3 things I walked away with were, the connections that I've made with, well, first I would say the clarity that I've gotten about who I am and how I can serve other people. And then I would say the connections that I've made and realizing how exactly that, how the more people I help, the more abundant my life is. And yes, financially, but also just in the experiences and the, and just the, I don't know, I'm looking right now at my bookshelf. Yours is there too, like the amount of authors I know and the signed books I've received and just the people I get to connect with. I mean, that, I think by really serving other people, just amazing things happen. And I think the other thing that I learned, the third thing I would say, is about collaboration and how much people coming together, supporting each other and teaching other people how to do that. I don't think a lot of people understand how, intuitively like I do. I think that's what I've learned over the years, is that that's my area of expertise in how to help people collaborate and come together to help each other grow. I think that's the thing I've learned the most.
And I can say to everybody that you are definitely an expert, because as soon as I shared with you about the show, I mean, you were there from when the book got released, when we hit #1, when I was going to the next level, and right away you're saying, you need to talk to this one, you need to do this. So collaboration is something that totally is intuitive to you and second nature, because you just do it unconsciously. There's that unconscious competence. And the interesting part is that, you know, when you go back and you look at everything and the helping of people, you know, you inadvertently are helping yourself. And that's a nice thing, that it's not about you, but it is about you. And that's taking the focus off yourself is key.
Yeah. It is. And I've learned how to actually funnel that into the Association of Women Entrepreneurs and how to make it part of what it is we do. And that's taken, what are we on our 7th year in how to do that. So, you know, going back to what you said when you started the show, it's like people think overnight success, and this really has been a journey. And there has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I mean, you know, and while I say, oh, the connections have been great, you know, sometimes those connections have been not so great, and things, you know, when I've shifted things and I've changed things and people don't like what the change, a lot of people don't like change.
Yeah, like you described earlier.
Yeah. And I've had people that, you know, we've been doing things a certain way for many years, and I know that we need to shift and we need to change the direction in which we're going. And now, of course, now that the new things are emerging, those people are now coming back and saying, okay, you know what? I like the change. I like the shift. I like the change. So
right.
Learning how to deal with people has been part of the journey as well, and how to stay true to my core, my beliefs, and my vision, even and at all levels, even when I've gotten resistance. That has been a huge lesson in this whole journey. It's
one of the ironies, even what you just said about change, one of the ironies is that people hate change, yet there's nothing that's constant in our lifetime. There is nothing. The weather changes, the time changes, relationships change, food eventually deteriorates, it changes its form. There is nothing that stays constant, yet people make change a bad thing. And as soon as we accept that there's going to be change and start to embrace it and love it, I now say I love change. Some people say I hate change. I'm like, I love change because I know it's going to happen anyway. I might as well just enjoy it. Why defy something I have no control over whatsoever? You know, we're getting older, everything, there's change. But you talked about downs. And I want you just to share a couple of the downs where, like, you know, I know that in a couple of my businesses, I had downs that I wanted to quit. I was throwing in the towel. I was giving my own exit speech and firing myself. If you can do that. When you work for yourself, you got to fire yourself. So what were some of your downs or exit speeches? What happened, and how did you overcome them, more important?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Where do I begin? Well, okay. One that's sticking out for me right now is what we got to a certain point. Okay. So our model when we started was we had a monthly seminar event, and we would bring in speakers on business development topics. And so we had a membership, and then we had a monthly event, a seminar event. And so the seminar events were very, very popular. They were, and I really, we, you know, every speaker that came in would say, oh my gosh, every community needs a group like this. So everyone said, you need to do chapters. You need to expand. So I listened to everyone and said, yeah, I got to do chapters, but I can't be in every community, you know, in every community, create a group like this. So I eventually created a system for how each group ran, and then trained other leaders on how to develop a group in their community. So we had about 10 chapters across the United States at one point. And after about a year of this, I just didn't feel like it was going in the direction that my true, like our true core vision, you know, the, what am I trying to say? Like mission statement, right?
Right.
It just felt like it was becoming too networky. And I really had this vision of strategic partners and collaboration, and it just wasn't happening through this vision. And that's where I decided to kind of shut that all down. And it took about a year to figure out what direction do we go next? Now, that sounds like in 2 seconds. Well, so I decided to shut it all down and, and do something different. And I'll tell you, that was one of the most difficult things for me to do something for 5-6 years or 5 years and then ship and change it. People liked their monthly seminar. They liked coming together with, meeting these people, and it was so difficult. It was such a hard thing to do, to make that change and make that transition. Looking back now, I think I could have done a lot of things differently. I think communication is one of the most important things, and I didn't communicate as well as I could have. And it's all a learning experience. I say, all right, let me take, I honestly, from the transition, I thought, let me just take all the lessons I can from this to move forward. That's the only thing I can do. My feelings got hurt. Other people's feelings got hurt, misunderstandings, just different things. And so, it was tough. It was really tough. But however, out of that came, a great new kind of beginning and what we're doing now. So, and a lot of the learnings from all of that have played a part in what we're doing now. So I'm grateful for it. I am. I think that's the place in which you have to get to, is while this may be a struggle or a challenge, and that's what I try to tell everyone when they're going through a challenging time, pull the lessons from it. While you're in it, you may not look at it, try to find the lessons, try to find the opportunity, because they're there if you look for them. And that's, I was really struggling to take my own advice during that time.
I think we're all good at that, because if looking at it from a perspective outside of it, we see more. And that's really a lot of the stuff that I even teach. Is like when you're in front of it and everything seems so out of proportion, you have no control, and all you see is the challenge. Mm-hmm. But if you literally step back and look at it, you can get a clear perspective of what's really going on. And saying, one of my favorite questions I ask all the time is, what's good about this? I mean, even in the worst situation, I remember driving down the highway and I got stuck in really bad traffic. All of a sudden, we're not moving anymore. I need to be somewhere. And instead of getting upset, I turned around and was like, well, what's good about this? And I find out later on there was an accident. And I was like, well, what's good about this is I'm safe. I'll still get where I need to be. It'll just be later. It's probably preventing me from getting a ticket from driving too fast, or I wasn't in the accident. What's good about this?
And sometimes you don't even know what it is, and you just have to imagine.
Right. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that weren't so thrilled with your decision, and there might have even been an attrition for your, right. your followers. But here's the interesting thing, that when you shared about the fact that the whole association was built to help empower these women to be able to build relationships and build business. And you said it became networking, and that's meant to me it became social. And social doesn't necessarily, if they don't use it properly, build. And a lot of people don't know how to make that switch. Do you know what I mean, Tara? They become such good friends, but they forget there's also a business that you're building, and you have to keep moving forward. What are some of the things, we're going to do is we're going to go to a break in a moment. But okay. When I come back, what I want to do is talk about some of the things that you can do to stay focused and stay directed, and to be able to give people those tools and gifts that you've been able to accomplish so well, and maybe we can help some of our listeners, okay?
Perfect.
So right after this break, we'll be back in a minute.
Are you really good at what you do? However, you're frustrated that not enough people know about you? Do you find you aren't working with the people you really love to work with? Or are you working so hard, but you feel like you aren't quite making the money you want to make? Hi, I'm Tara McHugh, relationship marketing and mindset mentor, and my passion is helping entrepreneurs that are experts at what they do, but maybe they struggle with marketing. I help them to learn a formula to effortlessly attract raving fans and loyal clients. Whether you want to get out there in a big way online or off, I can help you. Get started today by downloading your Relationship Marketing 101 Action Guide on my website at www.taramchugh.com. That's TERAMCHUGH.com. And remember, the strength of your business growth depends on the relationships you build. So learn how to build quality collaborative relationships today at TaraMchugh.com.
Now that I have your attention, ladies, when you need help breaking through the barriers that weigh you down, turning to food is not going to help, and starving yourself along with ongoing feelings of helplessness and frustration will not help either. The cycle of self-sabotage, disordered eating, and stinking thinking has to stop, and there is no better way than with other smart, business-savvy women like you who are making the change with best-selling author, licensed master NLP practitioner, and trusted guide, Lisa Lieberman-Wang of Find2Fab.com. Lisa will help you get that breakthrough you've been waiting for. Go to Find2Fabshow.com right now for all the details of the life-changing 10-week transformational program and the special listeners promotion. It's time to turn your life from feeling fine to being fab. Fabulous, awesome, beautiful. Go to Find2Fabshow.com now.
Welcome back. I'm Lisa Lieberman, your trusted guide on your journey from feeling fine to being fab. Be sure to continue to follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also check in with our website for the latest calls, blogs, information that you can find. And if you want to be notified on upcoming events and the next radio show, be sure to text Find to Fab to 90210 and join us. We have Tara McHugh from Association of Women Entrepreneurs. If you'd like to call in live, you can do so at 561-422-4365 or Skype in at W4WN Radio. So I have Tara back with us, and Tara, it's just been incredible just hearing from not wanting to do anything to starting something you thought would be small that became huge and changing, tens of thousands of lives. And doing that, some of the things that we had just left on was, what were some of the secrets that you imparted for the women entrepreneurs to help them with the trials and tribulations that they were dealing with? And then I was thinking, I'd love to hear like one or two scenarios of people that maybe came to you with stuff and how they were doing, what you needed to help them with.
Yeah, there's probably three main struggles or challenges that I hear from women in business. It seems to be like boils down to these three things. And they may not say them in the exact same kind of way, but we can kind of go through those if you'd like.
That would be awesome. Let's hear it.
Okay, perfect. So the first one is that I get, it's probably the number one, is I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do it all. And, we have so many, especially being business owners, and then, we have families and we have lives. It's like there's so much to get done with running a business. You've had a lot of them. And sometimes, getting it all done, it's just such a struggle and a challenge. And what I have found is that most women, most people actually, are so to-do list focused, and they're so they're so unfocused that they run around all day and they're very busy, but they're not really achieving their goals, or they're not really accomplishing the things that they want to accomplish. And then they say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. When really they have the time, they're just misusing it.
Managing it wrong.
Yeah. And it's not an easy thing to do, to look at how you're spending your time and what you're actually doing, and really being conscious, is that really getting me to my goals? So that's really one of the main things that I help people with, is getting really clear about what is it you want to accomplish, and are the tasks you're taking getting you there?
What's the best question that you'd have them ask themselves? Is that the question, or is there a different way you'd phrase the question to manage it better?
To find out what they want, what their results, what they want to achieve.
Yes.
Well, we actually have. I created a 90-day action plan. And one of the things we have, all members get access to it. And they start with a question, an assessment, a life standards assessment. So they take, it's 10 questions for those 8 areas of life. And it helps them to understand where they are. Because some people don't, I actually developed this way many years ago. Where am I in each area of my life? Some people can't even tell you. They don't even know. They can't even tell you what they want to accomplish. It's amazing. And I've been there. I totally can relate. So we start there with where are you? And then where do you want to go? So from the assessment, then they can create the visions on where they want to go. And then from the visions, break that down into 90-day goals, which we found 90 days really is the best. For women entrepreneurs, it's the best time frame because a year is just too long, too far.
Absolutely. Even 6 months is too long for most people, even though they plan on being in business for a lifetime or some time.
It is. It's crazy. But 90 days seems to be a manageable amount of time where they can, set goals. And then, it's setting goals is really, I have found such an art. It really is something people really need to look at for themselves and look at how much time it's going to take to really accomplish what they want to accomplish. So it's not an easy thing to do, goal setting. So 90-day goals, then from 90-day goals, break them down into 30-day goals, and then 30-day goals into weekly actions. So we have, and then the weekly actions, then okay, the tasks I'm taking every day, when you outline your weekly actions, okay, the tasks I'm taking every day are going to lead me to my goals.
And sometimes a small task, you look at it, you don't realize how big they are in the long run, but it becomes that result-producing activity. It's something that's specific. It's not just busy work or, it's being productive. It's a big difference. So what is number 2? Number 1 is time. What's number 2 challenge and thing that they needed?
Number 2, I would say is the thing that I hear a lot is I'm having trouble getting the word out about what I do. Or, in some way, shape, or form, I'll hear that. A lot of people struggle with marketing their business, with even talking about themselves or what they do. It's one of the biggest challenges that I see with women in business, that getting more, attracting the raving fans and loyal clients. That's kind of the catchphrase that's very popular these days.
It totally makes sense because, when I was building any business, even prior careers, it was easy for me to promote a product or service when it wasn't me, although they were still buying me. And my background is 30 years of sales, so I always knew I was the product. In other words, the conduit. If they didn't like me and want to do business with me, like me, trust me, want to do business with me, it wasn't going to work. But the same token, it's very different when you're promoting yourself for people because we were taught, we meaning my generation, I think you're close, taught is like, don't brag about yourself or that's not good or, and like how much people do things. It's easy to be edified than you to be promoting yourself and people feel that's bad.
Right. Yeah. Don't brag about your, and my mother always said to me, quit bragging. Don't brag, don't it's not. And it's not about you and bragging about yourself, but it is about, and we, talked about this earlier, it's about how you can help other people. And that's really what you have to get really clear about is how do I help people? What's the transformation I help them make? And then this is my favorite thing is I love strategic partnerships. I love connecting to people that share the same market to help each other grow. And that's now what the Association of Women Entrepreneurs is about. We've really created the platform to help our members do that, to really get connected in a bigger way. And so that is really, I think, the solution to I'm having trouble getting the word out about what I do is building strategic partnerships.
And really that creates your raving fans.
Absolutely. And you think about it, I'm creating my tribe of loyal clients and raving fans, right? And you are also creating your tribe of loyal clients and raving fans. the overlap is probably very slim, and so when I come, this is a perfect example of collaboration. When I come on your radio show, I'm now being exposed to your audience. I promoted this interview with my audience, so they're learning about you, your community is learning about me. It's a great way. This is a perfect example of collaboration. And yet people, some people out there may think, well, I don't have a radio show, or I don't know if I want to be interviewed on a radio show, and that might be too much for me. And so there's definitely other ways you can collaborate. There's so many ways you can collaborate, from even having a blog post, sharing a blog post. I mean, it could be as simple as that. And you'd be amazed at the opportunity that will bring you.
Right. Blog posts, social media today, Facebook, Twitter, emails.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different mediums that we can do things without having to have public forums. And quite honestly, recommendations hold more weight from a direct referral. Think about it. I do that all the time. Someone tells me something is good, I just take it as they must be right. I don't even question it if I like the person and believe that
when it comes from the right source. Absolutely. I remember on Facebook I needed my garage door fixed, and I put out, who do you use for this? And I had so many people that answered on that post. And of course, there were 4 or 5 people that answered the same person. But for me, it was who put the recommendation, What's my relationship with them? And that's what led me to making my decision. And gosh, she's fabulous. So I was very happy.
So, when we think about different things we're making, and it all comes back to what you said before. When we talk about time, we talk about the fact of, trouble getting the word out and strategic partnerships. There's going to be different situations for everybody, and not everybody owns their own business, but most people are looking to build themselves in some area. And I think we forget that we are a business, whether we're employed by somebody else or whether we're self-employed, we are a business. And because today, even when you look at the way job security is, which there is none, right. People need to be aware of, they're going to be interviewing for the next job. They're going to be creating that next relationship, because I remember when I was growing up, they said if we were in a job if we changed our job more than 3 times, we moved around too much. Today, the average person is 7 times. And then there's so much that comes with that, is that a lot of the people, there's so much competition with people looking for work. It really is about networking and building relationships and who you collaborate with and who you connect with.
Who you're connected with, absolutely.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. There's a lot of truth to that statement. There's a lot of nice little colloquialisms out there because there is some truth behind them,
Yes, which actually brings us to number 3, which is, regardless of whether you are a business owner or if you're, working for someone, the third thing I hear all the time is, I'm not making the money I want to make. Whether it's an employee, someone who's an employee or somebody who's a business owner. I think that is, and I think one of the ways you started the interview with this is that quote from Jim Rohn: "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And I think people need to look at who are you surrounding yourself with, and from your income to your weight to your beliefs, all those things, you're going to see that who you are spending time with you are the average of that. And so if you want to make more money, or if you want to improve your life in any way, if you're married and you want to improve your relationship, don't hang out with people that are divorced. Okay, I'm not saying remove friends from your life.
A lot of people are going to have no friends.
Just watch how much time you're spending with them, because if I remember, a bunch of people in my neighborhood started getting a divorce, and I told my husband, we need to be careful about who we're associating with, because just like you said earlier, misery, the whole misery thing, you can start complaining, you hear them complaining about their husband, and then you start to see things that you don't like, and it just becomes this downward spiral. Same thing with your money. If you're surrounding yourself with people that are in debt or aren't making the money that that they should be making or spending it all. You just got to really be conscious about who you're surrounding yourself with and who you're taking advice from. That is, I think, the biggest solution to that struggle.
And, I think about some of the things that you just shared as far as spending time. I agree with people that are going through relationship situations, and you can start really looking at your own. You'll say, geez, I'm bringing it with me. Or I work with a lot of women with challenges with emotional eating or compulsive overeating, and they'll compare themselves to their friends and say, well, I'm not so bad, because they look at their friend as doing worse than they are. Or compared to what? I always like the expression, compared to what? When somebody says, I'm not doing bad, and say, compared to what? If you're making 100,000 and your friends are making 50, well, you're not doing too bad compared to that. If you're, 150 pounds and 5'2", and the average is more like 110 or 20, then not compared to what, right? It's all that compared to what. And a lot of times I don't look at that, but I liked what you said about the mentoring, because I liked everything you said, but the mentoring to me was so huge, because I, in every aspect of my life, always found people who knew more about a topic or subject I needed to become proficient in than me.
Yes.
That was big. And I know that's a big thing in what you do, because you became a mentorship program more than anything. I know it's the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, but it's mentoring women to be the entrepreneurs they want to be and giving them those tools. So I want to give you the moment to even share specifically about that, because we're going to be coming to our last break soon. So I want to give you that opportunity to let everybody know how this has really been able to change a lot of lives.
Well, thank you. And it's been a journey. And I guess last year is when we hosted our radio show, the Women's Business Success Show. And that year gave me the opportunity to connect with our community, but really think about how do we want to go from chapters and this thing that was starting to turn networky into really creating a foundation where people could work more closely on their business and connect to really collaborate and give them the let's take from everything that we've done in the past to move forward. And so it took some time, and it took me sitting down and thinking about, well, what would I want? And what I wanted was to meet with a handful of women and work really closely on my business and collaborate with these women, create a community of support and collaboration. So I did that. We launched it at the beginning of the year. It's still it's coming together, and I launched my Business Success Circle at the beginning of this year, and then we've just rolled out the program, and now we have other women who are leaders, and they're leading their own Business Success Circle. We have about 9 leaders at this point, and basically, a Business Success Circle is a group of 6 women that come together once a month for 90 minutes to share struggles and challenges, to share goals. And I like to say, when you share your goals, when you pick the right people in this circle and you share your goals, that is when the collaboration magic happens. Because if you have other strategic partners in your circle and you're saying, okay, here's my goal, I'm having an event and I want to, I need more attendees. That's when the other people who are collaborative strategic partners say, great, I'm going to share it with my audience, or, whatever it is they can do to help you. And then you just talked about the mentoring piece. And I always like to say to my leaders is that you do not want to be the most successful person in your business success circle. You need to select people, because every single woman wants to have this group and select people that they want to mentor. And while I believe that there is a place for that, and we're talking about possibly partnering with a nonprofit to do that, this is really about building a supportive group of women that are going to be either equal to you in business or above you to mentor you. So that's really the focus for the Business Success Circle. So we have leaders that are building their communities, and it's actually really, really exciting, and I'm so excited.
So tell them how they can just tell them a website they can go to get more information, and then we're going to end up calling it for our time together. But I know there'll be more.
Oh my gosh, you went so fast. Sure, you can visit our website. It's aofwe.com, AOFWE, or just Google the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, and you'll find us. You can find us on Facebook too. That's another great opportunity. We have a nice community there. So thank you so much, Lisa, for the opportunity to be here. And thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been really fun.
Yeah, Tara, you're incredible. And I know they're going to find more about you because we're on Facebook together all the time and Twitter, and we keep going. So, guys, follow me on findtofab.com. Be sure to text me at 90210. Text the keyword find to fab, and go to the site and make sure you register for 8 free tips to living a happier life. And we look forward to hearing the successes you have, taking everything you've learned, putting it into action for your business and your future. Remember to be going from fine to fab, but be fab. You're already fabulous, awesome, beautiful. Have an awesome day.
Hey there. This is your life talking to you. Yes, I know it's unusual. You think that you are just living your life, but now here I am. I just had to speak up if you and I are going to have the best. Yes, you've had some success with me, but things could be better. I know how tough it's been to fight depression and the habits that lead you to self-sabotage and disordered eating. I applaud you for all the professional and self-help remedies that you have tried so far. But let's face it, they haven't worked. But it's not your fault. I know. I was there, remember? It's time that you listen to me for a change. I want you to go to www.findtofabshow.com and find out how best-selling author Lisa Lieberman-Wang can make me your life fabulous. Right now, Lisa is offering a 10-week transformational program for us. Mention the show and we'll get a really great discount. Hey, I'd go online and do it for us, but I don't have any fingers. So go ahead and go to www.findtofabshow.com and let's make the changes we need today so we can have a better tomorrow.
Are you really good at what you do? However, you're frustrated that not enough people know about you? Do you find you aren't working with the people you really love to work with? Or are you working so hard, but you feel like you aren't quite making the money you want to make? Hi, I'm Tara McHugh, relationship marketing and mindset mentor, and my passion is helping entrepreneurs that are experts at what they do, but maybe they struggle with marketing. I help them to learn a formula to effortlessly attract raving fans and loyal clients. Whether you want to get out there in a big way online or off, I can help you. Get started today by downloading your Relationship Marketing 101 Action Guide on my website at www.taramchugh.com. That's TERAMCHUGH.com. And remember, the strength of your business growth depends on the relationships you build. So learn how to build quality collaborative relationships today at taramchugh.com.